Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. It is my Friday and your Sunday, or whenever you're watching this. It's your day. It's your day. Think of it as your day. And if it's a little late in the day and things are going a little funky, maybe try to see if you can switch into a different gear and kind of turn it around. See if that could work. I don't know. Welcome, welcome. Yeah. It's been a week. It's technically been a week. But March 13th through March 19th coming up, and so last week I was in a spicy mood. It might kind of carry into today a little bit, but it's kind of a reflecting day for me anyway. I guess what I'm feeling is kind of part, like there was a lot of work I was doing, like my professional work, and then I was spicy about some health stuff last week, and then this week the focus is on support from the school, and there's been some like kind of back and forth issues within the teacher and support staff there, and our support person is kind of MIA. I don't know what's going on, even though she sees my son twice a week. I don't know, but I did have a realization last night that really helped me and a lot of things. It was and I'll share it here in a moment. I'd like to get this candle going to kind of create the mood here. And yeah, it's interesting. Life sure is interesting, isn't it? Let's see if I can turn on my lighter here. This is the Clarity one that we're using for March, and yes, it's working. I mean, I've had the candle for over a year. I think I got it. Okay, I'm getting black kind of soot things all over the place here. Let's see. I'm just noticing kind of right in here. I'm starting to, let me try to wipe those up before I like transfer them all over. I'm going to have to wipe those down later, but like, if you can see, it's just from the candle. I could see a mess forming very quickly. Yeah, it's, the phrase I came up with last night was, and I'm thinking about this namely for my son, is that when people are curious about him, he can be curious about the schoolwork and learning. We gave instructions. I'm going to go ahead and put some washi tape down as I talk here. We gave instructions at the beginning of the year to give him his space. And that is very important for him. Being autistic, and I believe being demand avoidant, for him, he senses these hierarchies of who is in control, and he wants to be in control of himself, and he is a really good kid. So when he is in control of himself, which is most of the time, he can feel safe and secure. When people are saying, just do this, he does not. When there's no reason behind it. It's part of that, the word just. Well, let's just get this done. And he's like, yeah, but why? And I understand that. I completely understand that. I have a little bit of that in me too. It's just like, if you're going to tell me to do something, that's a little crooked, isn't it? Then I need to know why. I need to understand why I'm putting this time in, why it's so important. And a lot of times I'll take that why and go, oh, yeah, I'm on the same page. And I can see it, I can taste it, I can feel it, I can be there, right there with you. But his version of it is much more extreme than mine. Extreme? I don't know if extreme is the word. Much more potent. Because everyone's different, right? Anyway, so we had told the teacher, just give him a space. Now, though, he's running into... That's a little... I'm getting to be a little bit more picky about how things are the last week or so. That's okay. And yes, I want a t-shirt with that on it. I've been hearing from so many people. I was talking to my client and I said, you know what? I've heard that maybe this should be a t-shirt. And she's like, yes, yes. So don't be surprised if that kind of pops up sometime soon. I don't know if I would wear a t-shirt with that on it because I just say it so automatically. But maybe that's my brand. I'm giving myself permission, and I say it because I want to give you permission as well to just be messy, be imperfect as much as you want, and be as particular as you want. If it doesn't interrupt your creativity, then do it. Anyway, so he's been getting his space. She leaves him alone, but then he doesn't do his work. And then he ends up on the weekend having a lot of work to do. And I understand, I think I've talked about this before, of I guess we're using this big old sticker. As I said last week, I'm not super thrilled about this sticker pack. It's not really my thing. Oh, look at that. But this does fit. And yeah, that's going to go there. So he gets a space, but then I think right now we need to do more body check-ins. And so to do a body check-in, his teacher needs to be curious about how he feels in that moment, because he may not be conscious of, he's super hungry. Like last Friday, he came home and he hadn't done some things. And we said, why? And he's like, well, at first recess, I was spinning on this thing. And when I came back inside, my stomach felt upset for the next hour. And that's when he was supposed to be getting things done. Now, I understand kids will say what they're going to say. They're going to, let's see, will this fit this way? They're not always going to be super truthful to their parents. I understand that because I wasn't. And then he proceeded to go to second recess and go back to the spinny thing, because people with sensory processing sometimes crave those spinning things. They really enjoy feeling their body, their inner ear spinning around, and then sometimes it's too much. So we're going to put the green, we have no plans to do any green beer, but just kind of using these up. I don't know if my husband, we have a brewery very close to us, well, a couple of them, and it's just all drinking stuff. That's interesting. So will he go and grab some beer? It's possible. It's possible. We could do this. Sure, why not? Put some shamrocks and then just kind of be done with this sticker. We used it up. I'm like, do I want to save these for next year? There, we don't really have much going on Friday, so might as well. I don't think I'll use the smoking pipe. It's not really that important to me. I would like to use these little shamrocks though, because I think they're cute. Might as well put them all over. Yeah, I kind of like it there better. Why not? Last shamrock here. Will it come off? So anyway, he was feeling those things, but he wasn't telling anybody. And he's not really one to disclose much either. So yeah, I understand that. There, maybe Sunday will be lucky. I understand like he's not going to go out of his way to talk about exactly what he's going through sometimes. Oh, let's see. Can I fit? There's 2 St. Patrick's Days here. Yeah, I don't need the big one. Let's just use this one here. I mean, I could put it up here to cover that. Yeah. I'll talk about another reason why I'm a little in a funky mood. And it has to do with St. Patrick's Day. So we need to see if the teacher will check in with him more, and he can have a very like standoffish kind of like please don't bother me kind of a thing going on. Well, he doesn't always say please, and that's okay. But we need, so my approach at home is, okay, when that happens at home, I need to give him some space and then say, I will be back in 5 minutes, so that he knows to expect that I didn't totally agree to just leave him completely alone, because he can ruminate over, well, I should be doing this and I should be doing that, or any negative talk. I don't want him stewing in that, because that can very much embed itself, and you just keep thinking, I'm horrible at this, I'm not good at this, I hate school, school is not where I belong, you know, those types of things. And so I want to help him understand, like, he's not alone. People, you know, grown-ups will come back and check in. And so when I do check back in, say, well, you know, I really know you want to be alone right now, but we need to have a really quick conversation and do a body check-in. What's going on so that you can't focus? It could be lights. It could be how his stomach's feeling. It could be other kids in the room. It could be he's too hot, too cold. A lot of things that those senses are much more intense for him. And so if he's not communicating how he can get help for those or take action himself, then we're not really solving anything. We're just living in this land of nope. So when the grown-ups around him can get curious in him of a really quick check-in, knowing that they're going to leave again, like walk away to give him that space again. But I find like when he realizes how we genuinely care and are asking questions and getting curious about how he feels so that he feels heard and understood, he softens. And it provides this, I kind of can work with it going, oh, okay, I'm seeing that he's smiling a little bit more. Maybe we make a little joke. Maybe he realizes, oh, I'm being heard, that I can kind of tell that I can stick around a little longer and see if there's some kind of, like, does he not understand how to do this one question? Is he lost on the instructions? And many times, and he even told me, I think last night, he says, I go to bed and the next day I don't remember how to do the project. And so for kids in school, we need to be able to support that. And there needs to be tools for him so that he doesn't have to try to keep it all in his head. Now, I do think that the teacher does provide some visual tools to look at. I do think we need to practice with him about not knowing and where and how we can then ask questions and feel okay about asking those questions. So like if it's a complex writing assignment, saying, wow, I don't know where I left off. I don't know what the next step is to take, but I'm going to find a grown-up that will help me do that. So that's kind of on him. And so it is this kind of just mixture of how we can kind of support. I wish these conversations had happened a couple months ago. We're coming up on mid-March, April, May, and then June. Like this pretty much always happens, that he struggles for like 2/3 of the year. And at the end, it goes really well. But that doesn't carry over into the next year because there's summer break. So it's really frustrating because for him, like, I think he would really benefit from school all year round. It's that routine of going, okay, I know what to expect, and I know that I'm going to continue to learn. When he has a summer break, his brain is just like, okay, I can just party all the time. And it's very hard to then adjust back into, I don't get to party all the time. So, I don't know. Maybe it is time to kind of look at some kind of summer school thing. I don't know. I don't want to just tutor all summer. It's not quite about tutoring because he's kind of up to speed. He's not that far behind because he's learning all the information. It's just that they want him to execute on a lot of that information, like show what you know, and he can't always get through all of that. It's the quantity, but we focus on quality for him. And yeah, there's a lot of times where the teacher is not requiring as much out of him, but he's understanding it. For the most part, we're kind of concerned about next year. We'll see. So yeah, it's kind of heavy. I'm also kind of wondering why I haven't heard from his support much. They're providing social time, which means that he gets these times to be with other kids and practice his social stuff, which is fine. It's like, how do you be a human in front of other humans? And that can be hard for people who are neurodivergent. It's like how you don't maybe understand what they're saying when they're asked a simple question. You're like, overthink it and go, what do they mean exactly? Or it's unclear, or it's a roundabout way of asking something. But I feel like his support should be in the classroom and being able to get his work done instead of the social stuff right now. So we're going through an evaluation right now because every 3 years for an IEP, they do evaluations. And so we weren't able to do that last year. And now I'm kind of wondering why. I think someone was not doing their job last year, because the counselor started off saying today, like, we don't need to observe him in the classroom, when last year they're like, we can't observe him in the classroom. We can't do this. I'm like, well, anyway, so we're kind of a year late on getting re-evaled. So that's okay. But he'll still, the reevaluation is, does he still need support? And the answer is yes. And we're just going through those things. We'll see. So it's a little heavy and all of that. Also, St. Patrick's Day is my dad's birthday, and he's no longer with us. So he wasn't Irish. He was just born on that day. But Yeah. Let's see, what would he have been? I think he would have been 71. 71. It's been a long time without him. So it's been over 20 years. And so, yeah, that's why, I think that's why I'm a little, yeah. Anyway, 10 of seeds. Oh, I didn't read the thing. What does this say? I don't think I picked this one for much at all. 10 of seeds. Listen and learn from the stories of elders. What stories will you pass to? Oh, that's interesting. I feel like I've been listening to the stories in my business group, and so that's been really helpful. But then to think about, what stories am I going to pass down? Yeah, that's really interesting. So let's copy that in here because that's been working. Let's see if I can keep it on the camera. 10 of seeds. Here we go. And then we'll go back over this last week. Listen and learn from the stories of elders, like any elders. What stories will you pass to? Okay. And if you're new here, I pick a card every week just as something to kind of think about. I used to pick 5 cards a week. It was too much. It was interesting, as I've said in the past, like to see how they play off one another. But I need something simpler right now. The business stuff I'm working on, and I actually did make some really good headway this last week, is pretty intense. And so I need to kind of have some support. This is my spiritual support, but I need space in my brain for other things. So this last week, I didn't track a whole lot here. This food, I'll check it off, but we ended up picking it up. I ended up picking up here. So, and we kind of float between Target and Trader Joe's and Kroger, whatever Kroger is in your neck of the woods. Here it's Fred Meyer and QFC. I have not gone through the clock change yet, so that's here. I did videos for 3 days. Yeah, I got caught up on things Thursday, and I will kind of go over this here. I could barely do anything yesterday. I'm not sure I'm not sure. This is what happened. We don't keep the heat on very much overnight, and it's been about 32 every night here in the Seattle area. And our whole house creaked, and I heard it it's like one of those, you hear it and then you wake up. To me, it sounded like a door closing, which we thought it was just our son running to use the bathroom. So I waited because for him, if he kind of wakes up, he needs some help going back to sleep just because his brain is on overdrive. And then I waited. And my brain's getting more awake. And so I went to check on him. He's fast asleep. And I'm like, oh man, this is like the house. So I wasn't scared or anything. Because I can get a little jumpy at night. But this was, like, I could tell it was just like a creak. And, well, just like one of those, like the whole house kind of settles, I guess. And so I was up from that point on. So that was 2 hours before when I normally get up, and it was still dark out, and like 5:30, and I'm not a morning person. So I got up, I saw a beautiful sunrise, I made coffee, I got caught up on the numbers, got all that kind of stuff done. And then the rest of the day I was shot. I was just like, my body's just like, I can't. So that's okay. I listened to some things, allowed myself to just go, this is not the day for other things. So we got like a food order together, did some laundry. Yeah, I just shifted what my expectations were of myself. And that's hard to do. And I have the support and the ability to do that every now and then. So what didn't work? It's just Thursday. I should have napped. I keep looking back as like, oh, I should have napped. But many people, when you have ADHD or are neurodivergent, your brains, it can be very hard for your brains to slow down. And I should have just like closed my eyes for a while. Anyway, my son had his concert. He went to the practice and he went to the concert itself. I think the teacher forgot to put out a chair for him. He said he didn't know where to sit. That was at practice because I told her that he wasn't going to be performing, but that he was going to attend the practice. And he was really excited to see our local high school because he's not going there yet. And so he was like, yeah, there's really cool. It's a cool building. I want him to get excited about things coming up. I really do. So, and then he went to the concert with my mom, and without us. Now I'm avoiding crowds. My husband, what did he do? He went to another meeting that I couldn't go to, and he's coming up on going to a day-long camp with him. So I wanted to give him a break. And my mom loves classical music. So I was so proud. My son sat in an audience and was very like squished with other people. He didn't wear his ear protection and he stayed there pretty much the whole time. But at the end of it, he was so much done that they shot out of there. But I was just about to pick them up. So it worked to just pick him up real quick. Yeah, I'm just proud of him for doing that. That is a huge deal. Usually I'm there with him. Usually we just kind of bow out of these things, but he was there. He was like supporting his classmates, and he's never going to perform in front of an audience like that. And that's fine. The only time he did perform was last year through a Zoom, and when they were doing school at home, and he did turn on his camera and he was in his room and he was playing. So to me, that was a performance. That's a big deal. These are both big deals. So another win, just got back from the chiropractor. It was quite an adjustment because I wasn't able to go and see him in February due to some health stuff. And it was just, he's like, it's been a while. You need to come back a little sooner. So I have one set up in 2 weeks. It's really nice to use our HRA for that. And yeah, we haven't used an HRA, AHSA, all that kind of stuff. And so it's been really nice to start off this year and see that we have that support. Yeah. So that's working and it's winning. I've been taking my meds on time. Like the week before, I got off track and I had to kind of backtrack. I've been taking my blood pressure not quite every day. I missed one day last week and maybe 2 days this week. But I'm on it. I feel like that's the thing I should do though, is then send the numbers. Let's see. Let me go ahead and put that here. I did file a complaint with my OBGYN numbers. with their office. But as I was talking to my therapist, she said, you also need to file it if I felt like I needed to, and I think I need to file a complaint with the ombudsman. Excuse me, which is kind of like a level up. Like if you're having any complaints within any part of the medical system, therapist, hospital, clinics, whatever, that's who you can go to. So she sent me that for my location. And yeah, it was really empowering to have that tool in my hand. I have to see what they come back with. Because as I said in some of the past plan with me's here, is that like what really did I pay for other than a really bad experience? I understand she gave me a referral, but that referral should have been made last June, and she didn't. So like, and the insurance has already processed this. I'm really wondering if I should argue to have just the copay. Like, because I know what they're going to say is, well, they had a look. Here's the thing that I'm noticing through the billing, though. When I just saw the billing through their department, this last appointment said urgent and really, like, I'm trying to remember the words they used, but it alluded to very important because I had just come from the ER and this was a follow-up from an ER visit. And nothing else was done other than one referral. So it just feels wrong. It just feels wrong. So thank goodness my next appointment with my new OBGYN is coming up next month. I am really excited to see what progress I can make there. But something just feels off and rushed and not malicious, but just disregarded. So let's see. So the Target order went really well today. Pretty much had everything except one thing. So that was good. And I didn't even put any subs in. I was just like, I'm tired. We're going to get what we get. And got totally caught up with all the balancing, all my numbers. Using the HRA has been working really well. So yeah, what didn't work? Oh, one more story. So Thursday didn't work. Teacher support's kind of off. My podcast. I recorded a podcast Tuesday around 10 to 10:30ish. I go back to it and it's gone. And I understand, like, okay, software is a little blippy. And I've lost some things before. It happened that the service that I use, and I use Loom because it transcribes. So I record straight to Loom. And right at that point, they had an outage. They had some kind, I just read the email today because they had to figure out what was going on. There was something about sessions, cookies, CDN. It's technical with the servers. But they were passing along the wrong information and actually ended up that some other accounts had access to other people's accounts. Like they had cross access to some private information. So they said 0.18% of our clients had this happen. So they were very forthright in like detailing everything that happened. But then they rolled back their servers to right before I recorded and dumped everything. Like there was no way for them to go in and see which accounts were affected. They just rolled everything back, and so my stuff was completely gone. And I'm sure many other people's stuff was completely gone. They are pretty popular. So they didn't mention any loss of content, which was the main result to many people. They were just saying, here's the bigger concern. So I popped back in on like Wednesday and Thursday, and I'm like looking to see if my file popped back in. No. So I'm like, well, I guess I'm not releasing a podcast this week. And I didn't. I was at that point, I'm just like, I really enjoyed that take, and meaning that recording, I felt I was kind of in a flow state, and now I can't remember any of it. And so I don't know if I'm going to re-record that one. I might just move on. Let's see. Lessons, talk to everyone. So that's within the school. I'm trying to like get everyone talking together, including my son, and trying to come up with a plan from then on. Oh, and I found a new software for running my business that I'm kind of excited about. I use HoneyBook, which is like Dubsado if you're kind of in that realm, but I found a new one called Paperbell. And the creator, I've been in the web design industry for a long time. I had followed many kind of like web service creators for a long time, and Laura Roeder, I believe her name is, I followed her before she had kids, and it was kind of interesting to come back to one of her products and see like her with her kids like grown, and think of what like a time warp it is. So she had done a service called Meet Edgar, and I had seen that for a long time, and then she sold that one, and now she's doing this new one, and it's for coaches and stuff. And I've been looking for something that simplifies, because HoneyBook is kind of complicated. I started in Dubsado. I understood what was happening. It was a little clunky. I think there's been some updates in that sense. HoneyBook was close. Their UI felt a little better, like it's a little easier to navigate within the system, but I had to manually do so many things. And now Paperbell, it's just cleaner. It's just like you can go through the steps a lot easier for you and your client. So yeah, it's something I'm going to be trying out. What else? Yeah, getting through a lot of the website, well, not website especially. It was a lot of work videos from my business group. I felt, now I am the type of person that I can watch follow-up videos and feel like I'm with them. Like watch the replays. I don't need to be there. I know it helps other people in the group for me to be there to ask questions, because other people have similar questions that I do. I understand that part. Because when they ask questions, I'm like, oh, I had that question too. And it's really great. Like there was one lady on there who like asked the exact question that I would have asked in kind of a very similar situation. And then I found out like she's very similar in the way that she thinks and does things too. And I'm just like, yeah, but I feel connected to those people. And unfortunately, they don't feel connected to me because I'm not showing up. But I'm getting the experience of it. So I don't mind these replays and going through the videos. But I feel, yeah, like I could show up at the next one and be on board. And that was like, I did not feel that way at all in January. So I just have to kind of pat myself on the back for that. Are all my stories done? Because I know this is a lot of stories. Let's see, I'm excited for getting past the clock change and kind of having this new normal, having more sunlight in the morning. Although the sun has been coming up earlier. I've been noticing that. We get some half days and a 3-day weekend, digging in deeper in that new software I was talking about. So I felt like I was kind of calm this last week, kind of like knowing, and then there was just overwhelm on Thursday. So I might kind of catch up in here about what I've been doing. This was for water, but it got kind of lost here. I was kind of low on water here, but I know I did this day, but these last couple days I've been kind of falling off. And then I did do my money here, and we did not do this here. So let me go back here. I did not send BP yet, but I recorded it. And then I just did the Cairo. Oh, my cleanser, I did mention this last time, is out for delivery right now that I'm trying. Although I found another cleanser that I hadn't opened here at home, and I tried that with really some success too. I'm playing around with cleansers. This is just my personal goals right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and check that out because it's about to be delivered to my front door. Been playing a lot of music in the car. Flow State was here. I forgot to do that. I have been working on the website and videos, so that feels good. The ER bill still hasn't come, but my insurance is saying what is expected. The gynecologist one is billed and sitting there, but I'm really questioning on the copay. Like, technically it's $15 of my money, but I had overpaid because my last visit there was $25, but then it was billed as routine, and so that $25 never applied. So technically it's a $40 copay. That is what my insurance has for a specialist, right? I feel like that's a little much for what I paid for, which was hardly anything. So we're going to push that forward and we're going to see what happens there. Oh, homework here? I don't think so. We're taking a little different route, and I know what I'm going to do next week. And I have not put my mixer up for sale yet. I'll just keep it on there. It's sitting right in our hallway. Maybe I'll move it. Maybe let's move it right after I get done here and put it somewhere where I can see it, or that it's in the hallway and it's not bothering anyone. If I put it somewhere where it's bothering me, I think I'll do it more. And I didn't have the spoons to really do my desk drawers. So I don't like how this is written. If you know me, I like to rewrite things. Also, I ordered some of the black friction pens that are a little newer. I had used my son's friction pens because they're erasable pen, right? But I do not like them in my planner. I saw someone talking about them since the Go Wild things last weekend, and they said these friction pens, I think it was Julie's plans, she showed how they were improved, and she liked them a little better. So, yeah. But it was really cool to see a lot of people getting really interested in the Laurel Denise planner because I have loved it for the past couple years, and now it's like everyone is talking about it with the friction pens and with all that. So I can see how people are jumping on that train. And there's one more planner that should be, I did order one. It's undated. It is the Sterling Ink undated year planner. And it is, I'm not sure how I'm going to use it yet, but I've just been really interested in, it's not a Hobonichi, it's her own, and I don't know. I wanted to really try it out. It's not inexpensive, for all the things. I'm pretty sure I'm still going to stick with Makselife for a long time, but I really did want to see how it worked because a lot of people were using it. And I kind of was like, yeah, I guess what it is I saw the parts of it being a vertical planner, being clean. I really was like, it has a lot of elements that I'm using here. It just doesn't have any of the goal setting, but it has like the year, the months, and then the weeks and the days. And I want to see how that is. There's something I really want to try about it. I don't need to justify it. I am. So I ordered it back in December, but they had to get it here. So we're going to be paying the ER next week, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to say, I'm not going to say pay the copay. I'm going to say like address it somehow. We're going to make some progress on that. The HRA did do the reimbursement, and then I used that to pay for my chiropractic today. I think there's one more HRA for the Flonase. I am packing in a lot of Flonase right now because the trees are going wild. Whew. But I also have some better cough medicine at night because I get those tickles all night and it's hard to sleep. But I definitely did up my once a day to twice a day because the allergies are coming. Desk. I'm just going to put desk. Anyway. So the website, I'm going to say the videos are pretty good right now, and I'm going to focus on the website, and I really would love to get that launched soon. Therapy. Okay. Music is really helping right here. Oh, we were going to start The Mandalorian as a family. I think with the long weekend, we might be able to. It's going to be a lot of homework. Sorry, the long weekend for this week, not this long weekend that is in the past for you, because I put these out on Sundays. So I need to move that. There we go. Yeah, this feels good. Okay. And flow is inviting flow or sending, what do I have this next week? Do I not have anything? I have no chiropractic. I have no... Yeah, I just need to send those BPs in, and I think some chat. There's some emails back and forth that I need to do with my doctors. But there's no appointments. Whew. We do have an appointment with, where would that go? It's school conference. Work and learning. Where does that even go? Family? Yeah. I'll say there's IEP stuff going on and our conference. So I'm going to invite Flo down here since that kind of stacked up. Yeah. The website, this is very uncommon that I'm putting that all the way down there, and I'm just noticing that. I'm taking it in. It is what it is. I'm going to be experimenting with cleansers. I'm going to say both of them, plural. And we're going to just, I'm liking the results so far. Because the one I found here has an exfoliant in it, and this other one I think is going to be more moisturizing, so we're just going to play around with it. And hopefully get a little further on the mixer being gone. That would be nice. There, I think. Yeah, it's about my son. There's therapy stuff. There's a whole bunch right there. And so having this lighter, and just kind of like following up on some of these things, this being a little lighter, that feels really good. I just feel that's fortunate in the timing. I didn't purposely set out to do that. Excuse me, candle. I did not think that would happen, but I like how things kind of swap around a little bit. Okay, sleep, water. You know what? I'm going to keep taking it for a little while. I'm going to take the videos off. I'd have to see. I might I'm going to do website. Yeah. Work on that every day. And then music. And this is for walks, but there's a whole story behind that. Which I recorded in the podcast that no longer exists. So it's a little sad. Can I use this color? I used the brighter green last time. I'm going to do a little test here. What does this one look like? Oh, that's not bad. It doesn't match anything, but it's not as yellowy. Like it's a little toned down. It's an experiment every time. I don't have... And some people like to highlight over the text. I don't. There's something about highlighting over it, then I feel like it's crossed out. So that's why I don't cross out anything. It just, I don't know. Sometimes, let me have one more story and then I'll call it. I need to have labels facing me. I need to be able to read everything. And when I do lists, I do not put a line through things because I want to read back through them and definitely make sure if there is a line through it, I get very frustrated. If something is obscuring the text itself, it feels difficult, I guess is what it is. Oh, we had our Ridwell come last week that took a whole bunch of stuff. That was awesome. We have our Smith there, so that's taken care of. The plants are doing okay. There's one plant I'm looking at right now that might need a little help. I am going to, our mower, I believe, is coming on Monday. So usually they come about here, around 11, and we're going to see, because they start in March and they haven't come yet. And I think they try to sync up with the yard waste, and it's a yard waste week here. And I think they're going to come around. I filled up my gas tank last week, and it felt really good to get in my car today. And no, it was just great. So that's my Wednesday food check-in. Oh, there are... Let's see, where should I put this? I think I'll put it here. I'm ordering a refill of just my blood pressure medication. And I want to make sure that it comes this next week or is at least sent out. So I don't need to gas up. I'm going through these icons here. This is what made me think of things. We don't need to do anything with the cars right now. And I think I might send out a newsletter today. It's been a little while. Because I'm taking a different outlook on my newsletters. So, I don't feel like I should put one out when I am unsure of what I'm putting in there. I'm not putting it out just for the sake of putting it out. Okay. This is kind of similar to that, a little different. And then I will give podcasting another go. And that's the thing. It's I'm not saying I won't record anymore. It was just discouraging. And instead of trying to make it up this week, I just was I spent my energy doing it. I felt like my body processed it. And that's actually a big part of why I do. You know what? I'm going to do something a little bittersweet here. Because my dad's birthday would have been here, I'm going to go ahead and put that there. Because my body process that information. There, I think we got everything. Oh, and then I think I was going to put this as a little reminder. Should I put it? Just right here. Let's focus on some water. Like each one of these little stickers has, if you can see right here, it has like 1 through 8 to get like 8 glasses of water. I don't measure that way. I have my big one holds almost that much. But, I mean, I just measure bigger. I just measure differently and I know my things, but I want to put this here to just kind of go, you know what? It'd be good to hydrate this week and not this kind of hydration. I don't drink, but I just don't like the taste of it, but please enjoy yourself if that's your thing. And then I think I'm going to put a couple green stickers here. And, oh, I didn't put... Sometimes I put my son's school hours, and sometimes I don't. Or I forget. I think I'm going to... I want to put, like... This is a to-do item. Maybe I should put it over here. I think I'll do that as like, it's more of a to-do item. Yeah, that feels good. Okay, and then because there's early days here, so this day is totally off. Let's put these hours in real quick. A couple half days here. Oh, I didn't put my therapy. Sorry, I'm a little quiet during my deep concentration of getting these things on here. So yeah, that'll be a little nicer to have a little lighter week. And then, do I have... This one will work. For therapy here. But yeah, I think that's my only big appointment, which is good. We have our conferences on Wednesday via Zoom, fortunately. And I thought maybe I could go into the building because the kids won't be there. But they will have been there earlier in the day. I'm staying away from a lot of germs right now. So I'm going to film, food, record. Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see what those friction pens will be. I think what I'm going to try to do is do a whole plan with me with them and see how I feel. And then see if my BP meds... I won't get them that day, but I just want to make sure they're sent out. So I think that's it. That feels pretty complete. Pretty complete. We got all this. We got all this. Okay. I hope everyone has a great day. Still contemplating whether to do one of these live. I think it'd be fun. I just don't know when. I think maybe a Sunday. I think I mentioned maybe 11-ish Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. That's kind of my guess. Maybe in April, maybe in May. I'm going to give it a little time. I hope everyone has a great week. I hope if it's a little different than all your other weeks that you can kind of navigate it well and that, okay, I have to do this. It's pouring in there. It just looked empty and I wanted to have it pour in. Do I have... Wow, my brain, it has to stop and do something before I can say goodbye, I guess. Let's pretend it's green beer and it's all coming into there. That's how my brain works. Have a wonderful week. Let me know what you're struggling with, because we all have struggles, and I'm curious about you, and I would like to hear how you're doing. So leave a comment. If you're going through a bad time, it's okay to talk about that too. And I will see everyone next week. Take care. Bye.